Yo,
Yes, there he is.
yes, sir. How you doing, man?
Straight, brother. I'm straight. I'm trying to figure this out, bro. It's crazy right here. Y'all hot tech with
Uh,
this one.
hey, man, it's simple. Well, shit, we do it every week, but it gets very simple, man.
Yeah, I was trying to tag you, but I didn't know. I didn't know how to do it.
Yeah, no, I saw you pop up on it.
That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. You doing good though?
Oh yeah, man. How are you?
True. Watching football, trying to get it done today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
missed it. I'm a football fanatic for sure.
Who you like?
I like Alabama, but I don't got no NFL team. Pops likes the
Yeah,
Titans, so
yeah. So I guess you
we
got to
gonna
roll
see.
with them, huh?
Uh, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how they do this year, man.
But heck yeah, bro. Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. I ain't gonna hold you long, probably like 20, 30 minutes maybe.
All right, perfect.
Just want to do a new segment, kind of like over the phone, virtual. Haven't did a over the phone interview yet, so I figured this would be the best method in being able to talk about dogs and being able to save it to my phone. And hell, and then people can even come in and watch as we talk too. So that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
man. I'm
So
tagging some people that
for
normally
sure.
comes on ours.
For sure.
Well,
But for the
live.
people who don't know who you are and who are not familiar with you, will you give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yes, absolutely. First and
What-
foremost, this is my daughter, Kyla Weddle.
What's going
9
on?
years old, super athlete, doing awesome in school. Come on, girl. Okay. Hey, hold on, baby. I gotta do this live real quick. Hey, but my name's Caleb Weddle. Me and my wife, Nakai Weddle, we run Bully Pride Productions. We've been doing this for about 9 years. We're based out of Bruton, Alabama. We breed XLs. People better know us for dual Grand Champion Genesis from Techno Lines.
Sure.
And then Bully Pride Productions, Leviticus, Bully Pride Productions, Kiki, Teddy Bear. Teddy Bear is a fan favorite.
Sure.
All of them were produced here besides Genesis. Like I said, Techno Lines, Genesis. We took him to different heights, and he took us to different heights. Really put us on the map. But like I said, about 9 years we're running it. My wife does this full time. Actually, our program's in the back
Yes,
right
sir.
here, so we got an indoor outdoor setup. But yeah, man, my name's Caleb
Sure.
Weddle. Like I said,
100%, 100%. And one thing I admire about Caleb and BPP, Bully Prop Productions, is shoot, they're consistent, man. I've never seen so many people like come together, you and your wife and your kids being so
yeah,
consistent. And then you got a great community around you guys who love you as well. That just goes to show how good of people you are together, you and your wife. So
absolutely, I appreciate
uh,
that.
I just want to ask, what inspired your kennel, and what was your vision behind it? Like, what inspired you to actually take this serious?
Man, the first couple years, like my wife was really wanting an American Bully. When we first got together, we both had pit bulls.
Yes, sir.
So it was funny because literally she had two pit bulls, I had one. We got serious. She moved in, so then we had three pit bulls together.
Yes, sir.
She kept talking about American Bully. I really didn't even know what it was at this point. This was about 10 years ago. So we went through a few different breeds of different dogs besides American Bullies. We actually had a Great Dane at one point for like 2 days. I was like, no. Had multiple different breeds, but she kept talking about this American Bully. So
Yeah.
I was like, well, find one. Happy wife, happy life. Hey, baby. Hey, no, you got to go inside. I got to do this. I'm sorry. But yeah, she found one online, actually from Zulu Kennels,
Yeah.
Jason Sargent. They were real big at that point. He's still breeding from Athens, Alabama. So we made the trip. We actually went and picked up our first dog from him, Kane. It was a collaboration between Zulu Kennels and Most Hated Kennels. Yeah, got Kane, fell in love with the breed. When we first got him, we weren't expecting to breed. That wasn't the
Yeah.
plan. Like we just liked the way that American Bullies looked. We liked their temperament. Because we had a child at that time. She was actually 6 months. My oldest was 6 months when we first got Kane. She's about to be 10 here in
Yeah.
just a few months. So man, we fell in love with them. Everyone kept coming to us saying, "Hey, I want a puppy off him. I want a dog that looks just like him." So we called Jason again, and we went and got a female. Because I'm like, well, why don't we just do a breeding and let's see how this works?
Yeah.
And we got Chloe, Zulu Kennels Chloe. We bred them two together. They had a beautiful litter of seven, and it just kind of started from there.
Yes,
Their
sir.
name came after, our first productions. It just we didn't really understand
Yeah.
how it works. We just put our last name because we didn't have a kennel name.
Yeah.
So our first productions were just Weddles, Curry, Weddles, Blue, all and of course the rest of the litter. But we started thinking about a name because we're like, hey, let's get serious about this. So the money that we got from the first litter, we put all of it back into our program,
Yes,
literally
sir.
every single penny, plus thousands more dollars at that time because we're like, we're gonna go all in.
Yes, sir.
And that's when we started building. We put our first slab of concrete. I think it's 35 feet by 12 feet. Put 6 kennels, put a metal roof, put fans on all of them. They're living good life.
Yes,
And
sir.
as we kept getting more productions, we just kept investing into it. And it's turned into something pretty good. Like I said, we're about
Sir.
9.5 years in, and we don't ever plan on getting out. It'd be crazy not to have a dog at this point.
Yeah, yeah. And like me, shoot, I'm a student of the game, so I watched a bunch of your previous interviews with different people. So kind of know the story, but I didn't know that you've been in it this long, 9 years. I did not know that.
Yes, sir, man. And we've enjoyed every bit of it. A lot of ups and downs, a lot of struggles, but when you really have the love for the breed, and you jump every hurdle that comes your way.
Yeah, so shoot. While we touching on how long you've been in it, uh talk about a little I guess beginning stages, growing pains, and how could a new breeder overcome those?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very stubborn, so
Yeah.
the best way for me to learn is trial and error. And there was a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
I can read things multiple different times, but once I actually go through it, I never forget that. But one of the growing pains, very early in the game, is actually one of our first breedings. She actually went into labor that night. We were actually expecting a few days after,
Yeah.
and she went into labor that night. A puppy got breached. So we had to go through the process of unbreaching the puppy, getting the puppy out, taking her to the
Yeah.
emergency vets, because even without when the puppy was removed, you could just tell, like, the expressions, her eyes, that something still wasn't right.
Yeah.
So we took her to the emergency vets, um, and unfortunately, she did not make it. The puppies
Yeah.
didn't either, because she was breached so long, or the puppy was breached so long that the sac actually busted,
Yeah.
and that really is like poison inside the female.
Oh,
And
okay.
so we end up losing the mom and that whole litter. And man, we were very much awaiting that litter. It was a beautiful litter. It was with Kane and a female of ours named Coco.
Yes,
But yeah,
sir.
we lost her and the litter. So yeah, just talking point for this, if people are expecting a litter coming,
Yeah.
make sure that you have her properly set up, especially once you start nesting, things like that. Of course, she's getting closer and closer. Start taking temperature. Reverse progesterone is going to be the most accurate time that she's actually going to be going into labor, and then just have all the proper materials ready.
Yes,
People
sir.
ask me all the time, what do you need to have ready on hand, when expecting a litter? The first thing that I say, and I think, in my opinion, is the most important thing, is that little booger sucker.
Yeah.
Like kind of used for babies, where you get the unstuff their nose,
Yes, sir.
because you want to clear their airways. You've got to clear the puppy's airways. All that mucus, things like that, will get inside their nose, which will go in their throat or be in their throat. Because once they start aspirating on that, gasping for air, it's very, very difficult to bring that puppy back to life.
Yes, sir.
There is things, of course, to have on hand for that, but if you can eliminate that altogether and not have to experience that, that's of course going to be the best way to do it. So have that booger sucker on hand as soon as the mom licks the puppies, things like that. Pull the puppy, have rubber gloves on, have towels. Of course, you need a bunch of towels,
Yes, sir.
because a lot of mucus, a lot of different afterbirth, things like that. But yeah, pull the puppy, suck the airways, the nose and the throat, just so the puppy's able to breathe and things like that. And then of course get that puppy to suck,
Yes, sir.
suction on the mom, because that yellow formula that's coming out of them, that is colostrum. It's so imperative. There's so many different vitamins, formulas, things like that, that's in that milk, just like a
Yeah.
newborn baby when they suction to the mom.
Yeah.
Humans, it's the same exact thing.
100%. And while we're touching on that, can you explain your process now, kind of between picking between, I guess, what is it called, C-section and then natural birth?
Oh, absolutely. Here, I'm actually gonna go inside. It's getting a little hot out here. Yeah, I got a head that might turn red, but but yeah, C-section and natural birth, man, that's a great topic, because with the American Bullies, the headpiece, that's really what defines American Bully. That's the first thing that you can really tell by an American Bully is the headpiece. So that is hard for sometimes for that to be a natural birth. So an X-ray, roughly day 55, you can really see on the X-ray, if they're able to actually pass the puppy natural. They
Yeah,
can actually measure the female's canal and measure the head circumference of each puppy.
that's a
You
gem
know,
right there.
yeah, exactly, man. And man, a gym is to have is the relationship with your vets. you know, I'm not a veterinarian. I'm a dog breeder, but I want to do
Yeah,
things the right way. So our relationship with our vets is so imperative to have because you got to be able to trust them and they got to be able to trust you.
yes, sir.
A lot of vets don't want people to, they don't like a lot of breeders because a lot of breeders are doing it for the wrong reason.
Yes, sir.
But once you really get that relationship with them and they understand that you're doing this for the right reason, they're going to give you more insights. They're going to take care of you. They're going to give you knowledge, and it's up to you whether you're going to take it or not.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, at day 55, we normally get X-rays, and that's when we determine whether it's going to be a C-section or a natural birth. I like natural birth. I don't want to cut on a female if I don't have to.
100%.
Um, but yes, if the circumference of the puppy's skull is too big, I mean, it doesn't make sense for you to put that female through pain and then
Exactly.
have to go do an emergency C-section. So yeah, get all your ducks in a row before that time. But
Exactly.
day 55 is the key mark that we go get the X-ray. That's as close as possible to the actual birth. But you still have a few days to figure out exactly what you're going to do.
And see, me getting into it, I didn't know much about that and how they discovered, I guess, C-section or, what I'm saying, and made that discrepancy between natural and C-section. So,
Yeah,
uh, I had just learned that not too long ago, probably 5 or 6 months ago. So
yeah,
that's a big thing.
it is.
We get back into the dogs. My second question would be, what do you feel makes your dog stand out amongst the community?
Um, Man, they're so family oriented.
Yeah,
Us at Bully Pride Productions, like it's family. That's
sure.
not something we just say. That's something that we live. Because once you have a program, it's not. It becomes more than just a hobby. It becomes more of a lifestyle.
Yes, sir.
So if you're gonna get to that point, your family's really gonna be involved, and I think that really sets us apart from them because our kids are in the whelping box with us. We have two girls, 9 years old and 4 years old. So that sets us apart. And then our dogs, just the temperament they have with our children. And then, they're fully balanced dogs. We don't hide anything. We're taking them to shows. We're doing videos. We're
100%.
we're doing lives with, our dogs where you see the whole dog. So the difference between us is we don't hide anything.
100%.
A lot of people won't let you go to their yard. They just want to do just, pictures where they're able to edit them and things like that.
Yeah.
And, I actually have a buddy that's actually coming over here. I'm surprised he's not here right now. Theo Fawcett.
Yeah.
He actually just got back from Germany. We've actually been holding the dog here for him for about 4 or 5 months. That he got off of from Sarah Roach, Gambler, and Butterscotch.
Butterscotch. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of our buddies, Trayvon Mobley, man, rest in peace. Like, he was kennel partners with Theo and Adam Fields,
Yes, sir.
BEK, Bama's elite kennel. Man, shout out to Trayvon. I'll always speak in his remembrance.
Yes,
But
sir.
when he passed, they were looking for a place for that puppy to go. And Theo called me from Germany. He's actually the one that informed me that Trayvon had passed that morning. And I remember calling him back because he messaged me. He's like, "Hey man, Trayvon's gone." And I called him. I was like, "Man, don't you say Mobley? Don't you dare say Mobley." But he did. But yeah, he asked. He's like, "Hey, you know, are you able to take her in until I get back stateside?" Because he was in
Yes, sir.
Germany. Like I said, he's in the army. But he's actually here now in town. He's actually just got orders to Virginia.
That's what's
We're gonna go.
up.
We're actually gonna go play flag football here in a little while. So he's gonna pick his girl up.
That's
Like
what's
that.
up.
Yeah, but man, it's family. And
Yeah.
if you keep a tight knit group and if you really get good relationships, there's a lot of good people in here.
Yeah.
I see a lot of times all the drama,
Yeah.
all the things that people are just bashing each other and all this. I'm just like, I don't want those people in my circle. So,
100%.
I just take mental note of what I see on social media, and I think people really need to take a minute and think before they post on things because
Yeah.
now we live in a very social media filled world.
Yeah.
So what you put can be screenshot, or it can be remembered, or it's going to follow you.
Yeah,
Like, so really remember what you want to stand on and how you want to portray yourself, because every single day, every single post, that's what people are going to know of you before they even meet you in
100%.
person.
100%. Because at the end of the day, you're representing your dogs with your actions as well. You're the brand.
100%. Exactly. A
Brand.
lot of people will actually ruin their own program before their dogs are even seen.
Yes, sir. And another thing I want to touch on, I like the fact that you said family is basically the dang top thing there because I see it obviously from where I am. I'm probably 5, 6 hours away from y'all, but I can see that from here in Tennessee. But I also want to add in like just the tight knit group between your wife and your daughters. That reminds me of how I was when I was young with my dad,
Yeah.
and I had to feed the dogs growing up from ages
Yeah.
4 all the way up to now. I'm still feeding them, so that kind of reminds me of me and my sister because we love to feed the dogs and let them out. We felt so grown letting them out ourselves, so
Yeah.
it's good
A-
memories seeing that, man. It's good memories.
Absolutely, man. We love it. Shoot, my wife's actually right behind me. She's
What's up? What's up?
yeah.
Next question, I would say, what traits do you focus on most when breeding?
Man, I think a lot. I like this question, and I've heard so many different answers. But
Yeah,
man, it's got to have the silhouette of an American Bully first and foremost.
yeah,
It's got to exuberate what the American Bully shows. It's got to have the headpiece. It's got to have those forearms. It's got to show what American Bully is, and then of course temperament right after that. Um,
100%.
Temperament is just as important. But like I said, if it doesn't look like an American Bully, I'm not even worried about the temperament because I'm not going to have that dog here. Of
100%.
course, I'm not going to place a dog with terrible temperament to someone else, but I'm
Yeah,
saying it's got to look like the American Bully before I even go to step two.
100%.
But yes, the temperament's got to be there because, yeah, children are involved, and we like to rehome dogs to other families that are going to enjoy the dogs, as much as we do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Another question. How do you feel about the current state of the XL bully community, in specific XL, not the bully, but in specific XL?
Again, I like the question. I like the detail behind it too, where you're talking about specifically XLs. I think the
Yes, sir.
dogs are going in the right direction. I think the dogs are going in the right direction. Now, the community in general, I think a lot of people, tarnish the community because themselves and their
Sir.
egos. But I think the dogs are headed in the right direction. We actually went to a show, the Labor Day show, ABKC show in Columbus, Georgia.
Yeah.
In the showing of the XLs, it was amazing seeing how many dogs. Just in the 1 to 2 year old male XL class, there was 9 dogs. So I like seeing more XLs coming out, and the quality of the XLs.
Yes, sir.
It's getting better and better. Like the headpieces, the substance. For a long time, I was seeing a lot of dogs that were a little longer,
Yeah.
in the muzzle and in the back.
Yeah.
But this last showing that I saw, I like the direction that they're going.
Yes, sir. Speaking of shows, yesterday got to see Apollo for the first time. That boy looked fake.
Ooh.
He looks fake. I said, damn.
Yes,
I
I
told
saw
my
that he took a
pops.
best in show there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Show one. I told my pops, I said, he looks like a damn, the Build a Bear workshop. If he could build a
Yeah,
bully, he'd build that damn dog right there.
exactly. Yeah, we got to
He's,
see him he was actually at Columbus show, and he took best in show at the ABKC show in Columbus, Georgia for Labor
yeah,
Day too. And so to see that, that right there, we're both on the same page with that.
yeah.
Talking about the community of the XL and where we're going with it. Apollo is exactly where we need to be going,
Yes,
and
sir.
he's here.
Yes, sir.
So I love it.
Yes, sir. And
And
another
and we have
thing,
him locked in. We have him locked in. And
yeah,
he's got Teddy locked in on Apollo's littermate sister.
yeah. Another thing I realized yesterday, I was like, I've never even looked at the pedigree of this dog. So I met dude from Louisiana. I think his name is Jarer, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met him yesterday, and
Oh,
he's
Jara
talking
Grin?
Jara. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes,
Met
that is.
Jara
I love that
yesterday,
dude.
and we got to talking, and he's already had the pet on his phone. He had it in photos. I was like, damn, let me see it. I was like, let me see it. So I never even knew he had Sin City behind him, and then shoot a little bit of that. Was it optimistic?
Apollo. Well, yeah. Optimistic's his dad,
Yeah.
but then I mean not Apollo, but Sunline's. Um, Dang, what's his granddad's name? Optimistic dad.
Quarantine, right?
Quarantine's dad. Yeah, but Quarantine's dad. Because Quarantine is the
Is it
granddad of
not
Apollo.
Omega?
Omega, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, Sunline's Omega.
a hundred
So,
percent.
yes, I liked it. It kept getting cleaner and cleaner because Omega
Yeah,
is definitely a tool. And if
yeah,
you utilize it correctly, you can you can form something like this.
Yeah, like I was not expecting to see that pet. I'm like, damn, but I can kind of see the Sin City from the mom side for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. So,
Yeah, it
next
is.
question. Are there any challenges you faced in the community or misconceptions about your program?
Oh man, the further we go, and this is a good topic for anyone that's really getting into it. The further
Yes,
you
sir.
go, the more success that you get, the more people that are going to see you. You know, the more people that are going to like you, but also the more people that are not going to like you.
Yes, sir.
Man, I don't listen to the noise.
Yes, sir.
You know, we know exactly what we're doing. You know, we got in for it, and we know where we're going. You know, we have a clear cut vision of exactly what we want out of a dog, and that's what we're building for.
100%.
You know, I think we have a very good idea of when to outcross, when to line breed. But yeah, misconceptions, things like that. You know, people will try to make up things. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
when they see success, they'll try to leave red marks. But you know, we just hurdle over those, and I act like I've never seen it, and I
Yeah,
just keep moving forward because
100%.
you know, with success comes haters. With more haters comes more success. So that's the way I look
Sure.
at it, man. I know me and you actually just talked about that the other day.
Yeah,
You know, there's been
100%.
people that have been poking at us, you know, on Facebook, and it's people that we were actually very close to. And this is not the first time. This is not going to be the last time.
Yeah,
But as soon as I really made my mind up that this comes with it, I quit letting it bother me. You know, the first
yeah.
time I'm like, man, these are people that were like in my circle,
Crazy.
but yeah, but just man, don't listen to the naysayers. Always
100%.
understand why you got in for it and just continue forward.
100%. Gotta keep that focus at all times because shoot, it's easy to get distracted. Um,
Yeah.
I'd ask another question. What's been your proudest moment so far as a breeder?
As a breeder or show as a breeder?
Both. Go both.
Well, as a breeder, honestly, how we created Teddy. Um,
Awesome.
Man, there was so much thought. Hey, Mark and Tamara Wagner, man. Hey, shout out to them. I see them in the comments. Absolutely love their
For your
program.
God.
Of
Shout out to
course,
them.
yes, of course they are. For people that don't know, I don't know, you've been under a rock, but they are the owner and producer of Grand Champion Samson. And their program is one of one. Like the more you line breed and inbreed Samson, it gets better and better. And
100%.
that doesn't happen with every dog by any means.
All
So
their dogs
huge
look the
respect for them.
same, and they're all 10 out of 10.
Exactly. Man.
100%.
Yes. But yeah, to answer your question, the formation of Teddy, man, we saw Top Gun. We were actually
Yeah.
competing against Top Gun, and it seemed like we were doing it. Well, we were doing it like 2 to 3 times a month,
Yeah.
because we were literally campaigning Genesis the same time that Emmanuel Tavares, who's a dear friend of ours, was campaigning Top Gun.
Yes, sir.
Um, I loved seeing him, but at the same time, I did not like seeing him because he was one of the hardest XLs. You
Yeah.
know, it is he. If you've ever seen him, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And then you
Yes,
see him in
sir.
the ring. He's one of the most disciplined dogs to go up against,
Mm.
and one of the most balanced, correct XLs that we've ever gone against.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm lucky to be able to see him multiple times. So we actually picked out the stud that we wanted to bring in because Genesis is so tightly bred. So we knew we needed to let our blood breathe, and we knew that we're going to need an outcross.
Yes, sir.
So we wanted to create our own outcross. That was the whole formation of Teddy, and that's why we actually started brainstorming on how we were going to do an outcross. Because I don't want to go off the yard for anything
Yeah.
if we don't have to.
Absolutely.
So with Top Gun, like I said, we picked him first, and I was just looking at him in Genesis, and one of the most iconic pictures in my mind is where Top Gun and Genesis were actually stacked up on the stage together in Mississippi. It's actually a show that I met Matthew Gibbs at.
Yes, sir.
I think I saw him in the comments too. Love the dude, and he knows exactly what I'm talking about because I think he was actually there when the picture was taken.
Yeah.
But well, so me and Emmanuel were ringside like the whole show, and every show that I saw him, I'm like, man, I'm trying to figure out how we can incorporate your boy because Top Gun and Genesis Pheno was
Yeah.
so similar. Their Geno was very very different,
Yeah.
but their Pheno. So I'm like, all right, they're so much alike. We have to do something to correct the small flaws that they do have. And I was like, I just want to add a little wider rear. I want to shorten the back a little bit. I want to tighten the feet a little bit. And that's not a jab at either dog. I
Yeah. Yeah.
love
Yeah.
both
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I kept talking to him about it. And I'm just like, I got the perfect solution, Emmanuel. And he's like, all right, me and him, we were talking, and then we'd get sidetracked off a dog. And so I remember one night he called me. He's like, hey man, you keep saying that that you have a plan for Top Gun, and he's like, I want to hear it because he's like, I like your breedings and I like the ideas that you're always having.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, thank you. I'm so glad you called. Get a pencil and sit down because I'm about to break this down for you.
Yeah.
And we literally talked for like 3 hours until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, there's one person that we need to call and one person only.
Yeah.
And I was like, he has the solution for this. Like it's exactly what we need to mix in. And we were already mixing that in, and that's Antonio McClenny.
Yes, sir.
Man, shout out to him. That is a mentor to me. That is one of
OG.
my very good friends. I consider him a big brother.
Yes, sir.
Man, he calls me when I put things that I shouldn't put on Facebook. Like literally, I'll post a picture,
Yeah.
and he will literally call me like 3 times in a row, and he'd be like, "I was gonna call you until you answered." He's like, "That does not exuberate the dog that you're trying to picture. Like,
Yeah.
there's a better picture." And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, all right, OG, I got you. You're right.
Yeah. That's a
And
good friend though.
it is like people need to, we live in a very sensitive world, but people really need to take that band-aid off and really be able to take the truth and understand
Sir.
when people are coming from a good place.
Yes, sir.
Constructive criticism is constructive. It's not just criticism.
Yes, sir.
But I told him, I was like, we need to call one person only. I was like, Antonio. And he's like, why? I was like, why? I was like, thank you for asking again. I was like, because
Write this
man,
down.
like, yeah, look at Yoko and look at his productions. Man,
Yeah.
look at Matilda the Gorilla. Look at Duce.
Yes, sir.
Look at, named all these different productions off of Yoko. And I was like, I want an inbred or a very line bred Yoko daughter, a direct daughter
Yeah.
that's a tri carrier because obviously Top Gun is a lilac tri, and I want to get a nice tri.
Yes, sir.
We don't breed for color, but yeah, if I can do that and line that up to get a tri, perfect. I think try is a beautiful, beautiful. It's eye catching.
Absolutely.
Um, so he's like, all right, well, see if we can figure something out. So literally, I messaged Antonio that night, but Antonio like goes to bed at like 7:45, I think, every night. Like he gets up very early. He owns a company. He's up at like 4:30. Like he is definitely a early riser.
He
So
seems
I knew I
very
wasn't gonna get a
militant.
mess. Very, very,
I've
very,
only
and he's
talked to him
very
like twice.
disciplined. Yes, very
Yeah.
disciplined, very articulate. Anyone that knows Antonio, you got to talk to him one time and you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But very, very wise.
Yes, sir.
Um, but I messaged him and told him exactly that. I was like, hey, I'm looking for one more female. I'm looking for something line bred or inbred off Yoko. Tri carrier is a plus. I want more of a smashed in muzzle.
Yeah.
Very, very short back, nice wide rear, and adult if possible. And literally, I woke up to two messages, two different pictures of two different dogs that he has, and he's like, "Which one you like?" Like that's how seamless this transaction was.
Heck yeah.
And Split was on there. Split was one of them, and then I forget what the other girl's name is. Um, but I'm just like, her. She's an inbred Yoko daughter. I love where she comes from. I love what she looks like. Very short back, wide rear, tight feet, smushed in muzzle, tri carrier.
Yes,
I'm just
sir.
like, so literally within like 3 weeks, we had already arranged it. He brought her to us. And again, shout out to Antonio for bringing her here. OG does not leave Virginia. He does not go very far at all.
That's
And
big.
yeah, unless he goes for like family or anything like that. But the dog business, people come to him. He's been in the game for 20 plus years. You can actually go on YouTube, like interviews him and Zep from like 2006, 2007.
Yeah.
Like I
I
was
was
literally
watching
like
those.
graduating high school at that time, and he was literally already in the game. Not to tell how old he is, but no, that's
Yeah.
my dog right there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but no. So literally within like 3 weeks, we had it arranged, and he brought her here. And he called me when he was actually at the gas station, a couple hours away, and he's like, "Bruh," I'm just like, "What's up, man?" He's like, "I'm almost certain she's coming in the heat." She had just turned 2 at this point. I'm just like, "Oh, well, hurry up and get here." Like, what? And he's like, you realize if I would have saw this before I loaded her up, I would have called this off. I would have done a breeding and then sold her
Yeah.
because I created her for a specific reason.
Yes, sir.
I'm just like, well, you're already halfway here, so you're not turning back now. And so he brought her here, and
That's
literally that
crazy.
night, she bled that night. That night,
Crazy. You
He
got
came
some
here.
some good
Yeah,
karma on your side for sure.
yes. So, man, so that was her first heat, obviously while here, literally
Yeah,
first day. So I didn't know how her ovulation was. I didn't know when she would spike, things like that. Most females
yes,
on our
sir.
yard, once we have bred them, I kind of have an idea of their heat cycle and when they're spiking and things like that. Of course, we'll get progesterone tests, but I know an early spiker, I know a late spiker just because we bred to them already.
Yeah.
She just got here, so I didn't know. So we took her, I think it was like 6, 7 days in, and man, she was already I think she was at like an 18 or 19.
Wow.
And so me and Emmanuel have been in contact. We already have everything arranged, but I called him and I'm just like, hey, bro, like we need to breed her like tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I can't ship it until tomorrow and it's going to be here the next day. I was like, hey, I can leave work right now and I will drive up to you. Let's do a live pull from Top Gun. I'll bring the semen back and we'll go do a surgical with Split.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You serious?" I'm just like, "I'm dead serious," because that's like a
He's in
7.5 hour
Kentucky,
drive. Tennessee,
Tennessee. Okay, okay.
yeah, Jackson, Tennessee. And
That's what's up.
he's like, "Dude, I'm down. Let's make this happen." So literally, me and my wife drove up through Bruce Lang's house. Man, shout out to Bruce. He had extender and he had what's that? The shipping where you put batteries in it. Shipmate. You actually put, man, hey, that right there is another gem to have. You literally put like a double D battery in it, and it cools, it keeps the semen at the correct level that it needs to be. And there's
Huh.
actually a thermometer in it that'll actually show you what the temperature inside it is. So then
Wow.
you don't have to worry about bringing ice packs. You don't have to worry about shocking the semen and killing it. It's actually an insulated cup. You put the battery in like 30 minutes before you're actually gonna put the semen in so it can regulate the temperature it needs to be.
Wow.
And then yeah, you put extender in it, if you're going to travel with it or if you're going to ship it. And
Shit.
so yeah, so we went through Bruce's. It's about an hour and a half out of the way. Bruce is at work and he's like, "Hey, here's the combination of my truck. I have a key in it." Like that's my dog. Like I call him Big
Yeah.
Mountain for a reason because that's family.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so we went through his town. We got the shipmates and we got the semen extender. We shot up to Tennessee. We got there at like 1:30 in the morning.
Mm.
Me and Nakai went in there. Emmanuel was waiting on us. We pulled from Top Gun. We didn't bring split because, like I said, we're gonna do a surgical when we got back.
Yeah.
But I just had Q-tips and I, just swabbed her, her area just to make sure that we can, get him to the point um, of getting us pulling a semen.
Yeah.
And so we just got a cotton swab. So literally at 1:30 in the morning in his living room, man, you should have saw us. I had a cotton swab in front of his nose. I'm trying to
Going to
get
work.
Top Gun's daughter. I think her name's Valentine. It's one of his daughters that he has up there. She was a puppy at that time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get her to quit barking because his kids and his wife are sleeping right down the hall. Um, Nakai was pulling him, and then Emmanuel was just trying to keep him like calm so he didn't like. I was like, man, if your wife comes in here, this is going to be one of the craziest things she's probably ever seen
Something out
because
of a
this is,
movie. What's going on in
yeah.
here?
But literally within like 20 minutes, we had him pulled, we had the extender in, we had the shipmate ready to go, and we came back. We did the surgical. She took a beautiful litter, which, like I said, produced Teddy. And we got exactly what we were looking for from that. And Teddy is our outcross here. And so we were able to form our own outcross, and he's going to play a big part here. But again, he is our outcross because the baseline of our program is techno lines. Well, really, it's techno lines, but that's a combination between Muggleston and Gotti lines,
Yes, sir.
which that's the same thing that Yoko's formed from. So techno lines and call it Yoko blood just for the sake of everyone to know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Um, it's the same exact blood. It's Mugglestons with Gotti line males.
100%. 100%. And then
But yeah,
did you touch
that's
on
that's my proudest thing.
on
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the show, the proudest moment as a show?
Man, the proudest for me and my wife both. Like, shout out to my wife. My wife's the one that keeps this program going, Nakai Weddle. When she grand championed Genesis and ICBR, um, I was so proud of her, like that overrides anything that I have personally done.
Yeah.
Me championing Kiki was very, very, very proud moment. That was the first dog that I campaigned, and I championed her in two shows. So
Yes,
that was a
sir.
very, very proud moment. But seeing her, how gracefully she was with Genesis, and how much work she put in with Genesis, and like that moment, like man, we were in South Carolina, and it's a crazy story about that because we are actually coming home from Antonio's.
Okay.
We actually went up there, and that's when we actually got Raven. And it's funny
Gotcha.
because now Raven actually has puppies right over here in our whelping room, like literally right over there.
Heck
There's
yeah.
a beautiful litter. But yeah, so we actually went up there. We got Raven, and we dropped off a puppy to Brett Potter up there. He actually co-owns YOLO with us, and he has Frank up there. He has two of the three that were actually produced from Yoko and Princess. Yoko's retirement breeding is a beautiful breeding.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, we were coming back. We made this whole trip. It was perfectly planned. We went up there. We got Raven from him and Christine Feldman. Shout out to Christine Feldman, love her. That lady right there. She's so underrated in the bully game. She's been doing it for
OD.
years and years. And when you're talking about some old school Muggleston, Christine Feldman, she has a yard full of gems, and a lot of people don't realize that
Yes, sir.
because she just loves the dog. She doesn't post much. She doesn't go to as many shows as she once did.
Yes, sir.
But man, if I want advice or if I want a collaboration, that's who I call. Antonio McClenny and Christine Feldman. I
Sure.
absolutely love and adore them. But yeah, we came back from Virginia. We stopped at a show in South Carolina, and when she grand championed Genesis, all that hard work, and I could tell how proud she was. Like she actually had to go outside to get herself together, and I gave her that
Yeah,
moment because I'm like, I don't. We can celebrate later, but I want you to have this moment because that's all your hard work.
that's pretty
That's
cool.
all hard work that you put in it. And so, man, I'm so proud of her, and I love that woman so much.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Uh, just had a memory pop up in my mind. Met Caleb at a Louisville show, Pull Up or Shut Up. So shoot, he had informed me. Well, he brought Levi. He showed Levi. He kicked my butt in the ring a couple times, but we're not gonna talk about that. I'm a rookie, man. I'm a rookie. But
No, you did good,
he
man.
informed me he had a long drive there. I'm talking about like 13 hours.
Yeah.
So like that just goes to show dedication because it's hard to even drive 13 hours for shoot family members. So you're driving there for a brand and plus, putting on for a Tuesday night bully talk as well.
Absolutely.
That just goes to show the dedication you have with these dogs. Not many people
Yeah.
would do that.
Absolutely. And shout out to Sean Fredericks and can I pull up at the house? Oh, Theo's pulling up. And Stuart Flagg.
Yes,
Shout out to
sir.
them. Once they called and asked us if the Tuesday Night Bully Talk crew would actually come up there, I wasn't gonna miss it, man. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
I made that trip. Nakai was unfortunately unable to go with me. So
Yes,
yes,
sir.
that was a very long drive
Yeah.
alone. A lot of sunflower seeds, monsters, and a lot of stops.
That's respect though. That's respect. Like that's dedication, man. That's dedication.
Yeah,
For
wouldn't miss it,
sure.
man.
For sure.
Hey, Act Two is coming up May 26th or May 29th, I believe,
Yeah.
of this upcoming year. So
Yes,
we'll
sir.
definitely be in attendance again, man. Shout out to them
Sure.
again.
That's what's up. Hopefully I'll bring something, can whoop you in the ring if you
Bring it.
if you bringing any
I
dogs
love
to
some good
show.
competition, man. I love it.
Yeah, we cooking up some stuff over here, so we gonna see. We gonna
Yes.
see. Do you have any upcoming breedings, shows, or events people should watch out for? One of my last questions.
Oh, absolutely. Well, first, the show. I'll talk on that, then I'll talk about some upcoming breedings that we have. The show, my wife, Nakai Weddle,
Yes,
and
sir.
Candy Avila, they're putting on October 11th, Andalusia, Alabama, Monster Mash Volume 1.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be an annual show. Man, they're putting in so much work. The trophies that are coming in, the trophies that are being done from the trophy plug, the lineup of the ABKC judges that they have coming, the MC that they have coming, the fun show judge. It's constantly something. People that don't put on shows, really give the show host a pat on the back when you go to shows and just kind of
Yeah,
give them your appreciation because without the show host, of course, obviously the shows aren't going to take place. And
sir.
you have no idea the work that goes behind closed doors. So shout out to them. And then next week we'll actually be in Troy, Alabama. Shout out to the Chapmans, David Chapman and his wife. Um, I forget what the um, Adam. What's that show called? I forget what the show is called, but
Yeah.
we'll be in Troy, Alabama next Saturday. Nakai is actually the photographer for the show,
Is that
and I just kind of stand ringside and go live, and my best quality is talking.
heck yeah.
So I'll probably be live next Saturday. Y'all tune in.
Yeah.
But I might bring Kiki out. I want to get her some more repetitions before nationals. I'm going to bring her out to nationals.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
God willing, if you know, her heat cycles line up the way they need to, because I do want to breed her on her next heat. She is what she'll be 3 in May,
Okay.
and so you know, I've waited because I want it to be the perfect breeding, but I'll actually talk about the breeding with her. Very much looking forward to it. Okay, bring him down south. Thank you. We're going to be breeding her to a Raider. That's actually one of our
Sure.
productions, a collaboration we did with Christine Feldman. Again, shout out to her. You know, Raven, we got her from Christine, and the agreement was that we were going to breed Raven to Genesis. Well, Raven and Genesis formed a beautiful litter,
Yes,
and one of
sir.
those dogs is Raider. There was one male in that breeding. It was a litter of nine, one male, eight females,
He's
which I would
big
take.
too.
I would take that division every time. I'm
Oh
a
yeah.
big female person. Like females build your program.
Yes, sir.
Males are easy to market for your program, but females make your program.
Yes, sir.
Um, but yeah, Raider is literally. It's hard to even call him a mini Genesis because he might actually be wider and bigger
Yeah.
bone than
He
Genesis.
looks
Um,
gigantic.
but he is a Genesis clone, Genesis son, and so we're going to breed Kiki to Raider,
Yes,
and it's a
sir.
perfect line breeding. It's line breeding on both sides because Kiki's a Yoko daughter, Yoko and Princess. Princess is a Troubleman littermate, which is Genesis aunt, and so Kiki. So it's literally line breeding on both sides, the
Yes,
techno
sir.
lines and the blood that's off Yoko.
Yes,
So it's gonna be
sir.
a beautiful breeding, and then the breeding that I'm really excited about is Teddy Bear to Mulatto.
Okay.
Mulatto is the mama of our yard. She's the one that's really gave us the productions that we're looking for. This will be her third and final breeding.
Yes,
We
sir.
bred her to Genesis, which produced Levi, and also produced Leah. We have his littermate sister here, and then the entire litter is so consistent and so beautiful. Then we bred Mulatto to Duce, and that
Yeah.
wait till you're gonna love Deuce. When we
Yeah.
show pictures of Deuce, you're gonna be like, okay, I like YOLO, but you're gonna love both of them because Deuce literally is a Deuce replica.
That's what's up.
A little bit taller, um, but he looks just like Deuce.
That's
We
what's
haven't
up.
shown him much, and we have a female off that breeding too. But we have four productions here that are off Mulatto, and like I said, that's Deuce and Levi's mom. So to throw her to Teddy, you know, or outcross to be able to let that blood breathe and let it, you know, get what we need from an outcross. That's going to be a perfect breeding. And for her
Absolutely.
retirement, and for it to be Teddy's first breeding that's actually in house,
That's gonna be
um,
big. That's gonna be
it
big.
is. They're going to throw huge puppies.
Gonna be big.
Mulatto's dad is OBBK Sumo. You know, a lot of people don't talk about him anymore because, you know, he died way too young. He actually died in a heat stroke in Oregon. He was owned and produced by Brian Fry. But there's some very big dogs behind Sumo. He was 23 and a half inches. He had like a 29 and a half inch head, 165 pounds.
Yes, sir.
And he's also a techno grandson. And then they bred him to a techno daughter, which produced Mulatto.
Yeah.
So it's very line bred. And then we threw her to Genesis, which it's so Levi's like 5 or 6 times techno in the first like four generation.
Yes, sir.
Um, so to take a female off that and to throw her straight to Levi, you know, it lets the blood breathe enough to be able
A
to do a
very,
tight breeding like that.
it's very well put together dog though. Very well put together.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
exactly. So we're always looking, you know, 3, 4 breedings ahead to figure out exactly how we want to line things up and exactly how to try to get the pheno that we're looking for.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
are there times that we have to call an audible? Absolutely, because every breeding's not going to form just like you're wanting it to.
Yes, sir.
But we're always looking 3 or 4 generations down the road.
100%. And I heard you mention the Duce Mulatto. I know you got a black daughter some down there, somewhere
Yes,
down there hiding.
we do.
Yeah, she needs to come to Tennessee, I think, right?
You, no, hell no. Maybe for a show, but she ain't going to live. Man, wait till you see her.
Yeah,
Her feet are, her shoulder set and her chest spread is perfect. Her feet are
yeah,
so clean. Like she is the perfect combination between Duce and Mulatto. And we're going to take her straight to Levi.
yeah.
You know, it's gonna both be off Mulatto. They're gonna be, you know, half brother and half sister. But the outcrosses let that take place. You know, with Duce, and that's forming Duce and Genesis together, which we've been wanting to do for a long time. They actually competed against each other at a Columbus show like 3 years ago. and we fell in love with Duce. Sean German is a very dear friend of ours. We actually have another credit off Duce too, so we will be implementing him even further here. But yeah, Sean, great dude. Hey, you're muted, Malik. Yeah, it's got the little mute symbol in the bottom right corner. Uh-oh, you're still muted. Hey, I can't hear you. There you
Yo,
go.
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Bet that's what's up, bro. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's happened to me a few times too. Like now I try to put it like in airplane mode before I get on,
Yeah,
just so I don't have like the calls because for some reason every now and then like the call comes in and then like the host will be like muted
yeah,
and yeah, it sucks.
yeah. That's what's up, then. About shoot, we're gonna wrap it on up. I was gonna ask before we close, where can people follow you and check out your dogs?
Yeah, well, my personal page, Caleb Weddle.
Yes, sir.
I try to post as often as possible. Try to and man, people say, "Hey, you play a lot." I do because man, this blue app, like, don't take it so serious. Like, man, I like to post funny content, just kind of liven things up. But I'm also always broadcasting our program, so
Yes,
they can
sir.
catch us at Bully Pride Productions, my watch personal page, Nakai Well,
Yes, sir.
Bully Pride Productions on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Um, yeah, or you can catch us at several shows. We love to show off our dogs, our productions. We're
100%.
very proud of it. Our kids are always in the junior handlers. We're always trying to be in the ring too. My wife does professional photography. Like I said, she's a show host as well. So man, all different types of platforms. And then you can catch us on Tuesday Night Bully Talk every Tuesday
Yes,
night
sir.
at 8 p.m. Central Time. Me, Amanda, Bruce, and Michael Higgison. There's four of us just in case Bruce got to work or one of us can't be on. We like to be as reliable as possible and consistent as possible. That's why there's four of us because I always want to have the same person that we're bringing in instead of just trying to get a fourth or a third host
Yes,
every
sir.
week. So
Yes,
Michael
sir.
Higginson stepped up. Man, love that dude to death. Um, Creek Bank Kennels, they got a litter on the ground. Man, shout out. Man, love the Higginsons.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you though. Appreciate you coming on and sharing your story because I know a lot of people know who you are, but some people don't. So this may
Absolutely.
reach new ears and new faces, and then put you on the spot. Just so they know who you are.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity, man. I love
Yes,
what you're doing. I love the content you're constantly putting out.
yes, sir.
Man, keep doing it. Love what you and your dad are doing.
Yes,
I
sir.
love that y'all have separate programs, but y'all are really same mindset on a lot of things. So,
Exactly.
man, respect is both ways for sure.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. I was about to say something. I drew a blank. Shoot. Uh I can't remember. I done drew a blank. But I was gonna say, shoot, yesterday I found a new hidden gem at the show. Man in Oklahoma. Got some old school Gotti line, dude. Like
Really, who is
original.
it?
Uh Shoot, I can't think of his name. I just added him on Facebook. He's out of
Yeah,
Oklahoma. He's
yeah,
got a 16-month-old standard male. He's nice, bro. He's nice.
yeah. I wonder if is it Terrence Reed?
It wasn't Terrence. It wasn't Terrence.
No.
It was a
Yeah,
white gentleman. He had tattoos. He was one major away from champing out yesterday. I didn't stay long to see if he got it or not, but that dog was the truth, brother.
wow. Hell
100%.
yeah.
But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming on. Appreciate your time, man. Enjoy your Sunday.
Hey, absolutely. You too, man. Take
100.
care.